Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe, and especially in Port Adelaide and deep South Australia, two blokes leading the charge that it's okay to be a little bit crap as long as you try hard. It's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 17 of Best Team Men. I'm Matthew Burgess, and Jared Walsh is here too. Jared?
All right.
Could this be our biggest episode round yet?
Yeah, let's just get this out of the way. Matt, I'm going to spring this on you.
Okay.
I've prepared a semi-statement.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jared Walsh. I'm 36 years of age. I'm a husband, a father. I have a dog and a stepcat. And I would like to acknowledge that I have a wind problem. I've received some feedback that on the last round of Best Team Men, there were some noises, and I made them quite obvious throughout the podcast. But little did I realise until listening back that they sounded like atomic bombs.
They were quite prominent on the podcast, yes.
And it's not something that I'm proud of. I mean, there's a part of me that kind of is.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of people contact me after listening to the episode and said, mate, we could hear that. And it was it's a tough week. I told you, I bought an air fryer, so obviously that's not just what I cooked the food with, because obviously it was coming out of me.
That's
and
right.
I'm sorry, it was unprofessional.
You've got more air than you know what to do with at the moment.
I would say it's not reflective of the Best Team Man brand, but kind of is. So I'm sorry if that caused any disgust for people. Hopefully people haven't turned off because of what they heard. I wouldn't encourage you to go back and listen to it.
Well, you did. You encouraged me all last week. I reckon. Hang on. He's just here. Thursday, 5:13. Did you hear the fart? No, I haven't listened yet. Thursday, 7:54 p.m. Fart. Thursday, 8:42 p.m. Listen to the fart. Friday, 7:31 p.m. Did you hear the fart yet? Oh, I was getting around the clock reminders to go back and listen to our own episode, just so I could hear your fart.
I got a message from Jamie Manson at Jamie Manson 101. He's a keen listener. You know, funnily enough, Jamie was the guy who was watching the footy last week, and he was listening to our podcast. So we turned down the commentary of the footy and listened to our podcast, and I got a message from him that said, "Are you sure you want to hear this?"
Yep.
You can hear the farts in yesterday's pod. Then I went to my physio this morning. It was at the gym, and he just said, mate, you've got some issues that you need to address. I couldn't predict that was going to happen. You know, I get this from my dad. Now, I don't have anything to do with my dad. I do. Right. I remember one of the memories that I have of my grandfather who... he lived in country Victoria. My dad took us all out one night. There were me and my cousins, about 6 of us. He said, guys, good idea. Let's go walk around the backyard and go on a scavenger hunt for farts. So we were following my dad around the backyard, and he'd go, oh, here's one. I found one. Did this for about half an hour.
So he could almost go on cue.
Yeah. Look, it's not something I'm proud of. I apologise. It's not going to happen again. But you know what? These are unique times.
They are.
And we were doing a Zoom chat unexpectedly. We're lucky to be sitting here in the studio today.
We're back in the studio. It's pleasant. It's a lot more pleasant for you than sitting outside in 2 degrees.
having a cup of tea. So that's been addressed. I wanted to get that out of the way. Also, I need to address the drive in here. First of all, I was on time today.
You were on time. That's probably the first time in 17 rounds this year.
Yep, it's a fresh start. And the really interesting thing was I was driving on Weymouth Street past George's on Weymouth, and a van in front of me flicked his hazard lights on and pulled over to the left of the road. And I thought, cool, I'm going to go around him. Then he started reversing and tried to reverse into the side street next to the advertiser building. And I drove past. Like, whenever I drive past people, I do a really condescending head shake just to, mate.
Disappointment.
Sometimes I mouth
not
words
angry,
at him,
not
like-
angry, just disappointed.
Yeah, and he just he flipped me the bird.
Straight up.
I didn't know what to do, just an aggressive bird. And I thought, this is uncalled for. I mean, was he in the wrong or am I in the wrong?
Well, without seeing it, I can't really pass judgment, but
Okay.
probably him.
All right. So we got that out of the way. That's all done. As you said, before I interrupted you with my apology, this could be the biggest and most hard-hitting podcast we have done.
There's been a lot happen in the last 7 days.
Yeah, and there's a fair chance we're not going to talk about sport.
Not one bit of sport to be spoken about, which is quite ironic considering the footy's just come back.
Footy's come back. I watched the most footy that I have watched in years over the weekend. I got KO. I binned Foxtel.
Yep.
It's great. You
is
can
good.
take it everywhere. I watch little snippets of lots of games. And that's my footy chat.
Wait till your missus works out it's on your phone.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
You got to be a little bit discreet with that one. But yes, you're right. We've got a lot to get through. A lot's happened in the last 7 days.
Yeah. Well, should we start on the good news? Because we're all about podvertising.
Let's start on that. Let's start on that.
Yeah, so last week, in the midst of all of my flatulence, where I was randomly talking about a listener, and we were talking about when we celebrated the little win. So, like I said, just I think off the cuff, something about getting a premiership medal and the hockey team running out of medals, and we had to go to the Brighton Trophy Centre to get one made.
Yeah.
I had a friend request from Con Brighton Trophy Centre on Facebook, and I thought, okay, that's great. Sometimes when you talk, like if I say Nutribullet a couple of times, our phones are going to listen, and you'll get advertising in a second.
Yeah.
So long story short, today is it's a Tuesday, or what if you download this on a Wednesday? It's a Wednesday. Who cares?
Yeah, it
It's
can
not
be any
really
day
days,
you want.
It doesn't matter. Con Brighton Trophy Centre has said, mate, love the podcast. Organise this for you. We've got something sitting on the desk here. Talk us through it, Matty.
Mate, Con has whipped us up a little gold cup, exactly like our logo that you would see on our socials and on the different podcast platforms. And it is an absolute real-life mirror image.
This is unbelievable. Like, it looks exactly the same.
It is fantastic.
And Con, we didn't ask for this. Con has gone out of his way in the kindness of his heart, and you went and picked it up. I haven't met Con yet, I don't think, but he's a lovely guy.
He is a ripper. He is the nicest bloke I think I've ever met. I went in to pick it up, and we had a chat, and we spoke about his business for a little while, and all that sort of stuff. And they do a lot, not just for sporting teams, but also corporate prizes and trophies and all that sort of stuff. So, if you're a real estate agent, you sold the most houses, they get those little glass, trophy looking things. They do those. And a lot of local sport and all that sort of stuff. And so he just ran me through what they do as a business. And we spoke about the podcast for a bit and how he loves listening to us and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, he was just a genuinely really nice guy. And it was really great to go in and have a chat with him.
Yeah, it's good. And I kind of think like throughout this year, how everything's been in shutdown local sport, like business-wise, that's shit for them. So It's great to see sport coming back. I know that hockey starts this weekend, a lot of local footy as well.
Yep.
LT's team that you are now a part of.
Yes,
I saw it. There was an article about LT in the paper, I think.
Was there? I didn't see that. We trained last night, so it was good to see the great man.
Oh, there you go. So we should just say, Con, thank you so much, mate. Brighton Trophy Centre, 493A, Brighton Road in Brighton.
And if you are a local sporting team or something like that, then definitely look
Good
him
quality.
up to get your end of year awards done by Con, because he's done a great job with that, and he's a great man running a great business.
Yeah, if you're in South Australia, 83771999, or put a 08 in front of it if you're not. And it got us thinking, does this mean we technically have a sponsor? Because we've received a product or
That's right.
This is our this is our brand
Yeah.
right here. This is our mascot.
Absolutely.
We've got something.
Yes, finally. It's taken 17 rounds this year and 10 last year, but we're there.
Yeah, I gave you a bottle of First Drop and you're like, yeah, I've stopped drinking for a while. I'm like, great. Well, that's going to go
But
down really well.
it didn't last the weekend. My missus drank it. So
Oh, well, she liked it?
She loved it.
Awesome. So does that mean
We do.
we should start every round now by saying thanks to Brighton Trophy Centre.
Yep. Major sponsors of the Best Team Men
Yeah,
podcast.
but we need to probably check with Con.
if he wants to be
Well, yeah,
we've
because
just kind of pushed him into it.
Yeah, because we started this podcast with me apologising for what came out of my ass.
That's right.
And Con may go, well, you know what? That probably doesn't represent our brand values.
I don't want to be associated with that.
Yeah.
Jared and his ass.
So maybe we make a pact to go no more arse stuff.
No.
Apart from Arsenaldo, who we'll get to in a second. Sorry for my
dear.
coffee, mate.
No, you're right. I heard that one launch.
I don't know. My child brought home, instead of a drawing from childcare, she brought home coronavirus, which is great. No, I'm fine. I'm at the back end of it. It's just a pain in the arse, though.
Yeah.
Sorry for the arse chat. Con, you're a legend. Thank you so much for this, mate. This is brilliant. So that's awesome. We're going to put that up on our socials as well. What's our socials, Matty?
At Best Team Men on Twitter
Yep.
and facebook.com/Best Team Men.
Yeah, great. So you can listen to all of our episodes and things like that.
Yep.
If this is the first time you've listened to this podcast, we've started giving a brief rundown on what we're going to talk about, even though we're about 10 minutes in. That's okay. That's
fine.
okay.
That's fine.
So very soon we are going to get to a little bit of shade thrown my way from James Brayshaw. I need to address that, and also more stuff, social media over the weekend. No more Mr. Nice Guy from me.
No more.
No more. We've got a new game which we are going to have a crack at, and apparently, well, if you listen to the last episode, not the one that's just dropped to the press box, but it's very good. And speaking of drop, they interviewed Theo Dropoulos to talk about the Ollie Wines incident, and Sam Tugwell talked about sport, I think. And
I've got to get to something. There's one thing that I need to
you're
cover
going
off
to
so-
attack one of the members, and this is the great time that I can step back, give you the room that you need. This is new from you. This is a really
is
good.
new.
Yeah, I've learned some things by listening to. You know, they obviously brought a little cap gun to a war when they had a crack at us.
Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah, that's
Kempy.
what I was trying to say. Don't bring a cap gun to a cap gun party. All right, let's talk about Arsenaldo, because we've
Yes.
had some developments.
We have. So if you didn't listen to our last episode, we got a message from Andy at the Ozcast Network who said that a guy by the name of Arsenaldo Garcia, who lives in Miami, Florida, had purchased 2 Best Team Men t-shirts.
It's great.
Amazing.
We didn't believe that.
No, we didn't believe it. And then Andy then proceeded to tell us that he couldn't fulfill the order
Yeah.
because of COVID.
Yeah.
So disappointing for poor old Arsenaldo.
Yeah.
He's jumped on, number 1 ticket holder, and we can't get him the merchandise that he wants.
That's brilliant. We've got a sponsor and we've got a number 1 ticket
That's
holder.
right.
However, he can't get the 2 T-shirts that he ordered due to COVID.
That's right. So Jared and I were a little bit skeptical. We tried to search him on Facebook, couldn't find him. So we were a bit like, oh, no, Andy's having us on here. We think he's sort of...
He was pumping our tyres up
He
because
was,
we
yeah.
had no listeners.
Anyway, come yesterday afternoon, Andy's put a little message in our Best Team Men crew message.
Yeah, we need to also have a look at how that Best Team Men crew message group operates as well.
Right.
'Cause-
Some are given a bit more than others.
Yeah, I think someone's not receiving notifications.
We might have the wrong number in there. Who knows? Anyway, this is from Andy. Hey, fellas, when you get a sec, are you able to flick me an invoice for $20 to the Ozcast Network for profits of your T-shirt sales? If you could do it before June 30, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers in it. We need to unpack.
So not only did we not believe him, we're now actually going to make some money off of this.
Which I don't understand. Because how much are the Ozcast Network selling these T-shirts for us to make 20 bucks? So I'm guessing if we split it, so he's got 2 T-shirts asked now, they're
Yeah.
$10 each.
Yeah.
But are we paying for shipping or are they made over there?
Well, maybe Arsenaldo makes them.
Yeah. Should we get a say on how much our T-shirts cost? Actually, before that, should we get a say on how they look?
I would have thought so.
Got no idea what they look like.
No. I don't know if I told you this or not. Andy actually messaged me about it when we first started the podcast.
Yeah.
But I never said, let's go and do it.
Yeah.
but he's done it.
Are we paying for these to get made, or Ozcast are doing it?
Maybe they're on a per sale basis. I don't know.
All right, so we make $20.
Maybe they're per order.
So
they're made to
now
order.
we've got a major sponsor
And a number one ticket holder.
and a profitable podcast.
We've actually made some money out of this.
We've made $20 in 2 years.
That's not great, but we'll take it.
Hey, you know what? It's better than no money.
It is better than no money. And we've got a trophy.
It's also interesting, sorry, that at the end of that message, Andy was very specific on the date that he needed it.
June 30.
Yeah, so we need to now raise the questions whether Arsenaldo is just assisting the Ozcast network with their tax return. So is this...
Arsenaldo's paid from a weird bank offshore account in the Cayman Islands or something like that.
Yeah, okay. So we still need to get these weekly updates because for those of you listening, and I'm speaking to you, Glenn Aikman.
I met Glenn's lawyer the other day too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, James Brock. Yeah.
Oh, Peter's dad.
Yeah. So
And how'd that go?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we went through the case and James defended him.
Oh, are you serious?
Not very well by the sound.
No,
of it.
obviously. Yeah. Did he say he's going to hook you up with a function at the pier? No, obviously he's not. So what's occurred is that we need to work out what to do with this $20.
I reckon we put it back into the podcast and...
What does that mean?
I don't know. Try and find Arsenaldo somehow. Get him on. We need to find this guy.
So you think Arsenaldo, our number one ticket holder, is going to charge $20 to talk to us?
Well, potentially. Yes, or we can pay that to someone to find him.
Yeah, okay. So what about we suss out with Arsenaldo that once he receives the T-shirts, if he does, we need a photo with him.
When all this COVID stuff's done, we need a photo of Arsenaldo. Yep, and he can be our honorary display picture on our socials for a week.
What happens? I'm going to quickly look when you Google image Arsenaldo. I'm just going to do it, mate. I'm on private browsing, so here we go. Assnaldo.
Safe search on?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Arsenaldo. There's a hashtag, Arsenaldo.
But I reckon if we did some research...
There's a photo of Cristiano Ronaldo with his ass.
There is too.
Oh, my God. Wait a sec. There is Arsenaldo Avila. So here's Arsenaldo Avila with obviously his young daughter.
Okay, he looks more Mexican than from Miami.
Yeah, but you've got some, Latinos living in Florida.
But he looks like he's in Mexico in that photo.
Yeah, maybe he travels and collects podcast T-shirts.
True. Who are we to judge?
Interesting. Okay, watch this space when it comes to Arsenaldo. All right. You have to talk about what happened Saturday night because I was lucky enough to work at Showdown.
You were.
Which was a great experience. There were just over 2,000 people there, and it was a very stripped back kind of game day MC, but the Port fans are terrific. Crows fans were loud as well.
They were loud. They were really loud. For 2,000 of them, it was amazing.
The sports fans, I think, in general, don't like being told what to do.
No.
Sometimes, if you've got a hyped up crowd, you can go make some noise. They're like, great. But if I say, listen, stand up and do that. I did that at a 36ers game last year. It was like stand up if you're if something's under your seat, and someone complained and said, I can't stand up. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm like, oh, sorry. Oh,
dear.
So the Port fans were brilliant. I got them hyped up. They were loud, which is awesome. They responded to everything that I kind of said. It was an amazing night.
Yep.
But then at halftime, my phone started going...
blown up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I had an idea what was going on. Because in the room that I was sitting, which is behind the southern goals, up in the end where Wayne Phillips usually sits, and there's a TV screen which shows the broadcast feed. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw my tweet.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is surely a stitch up here. Have the Kojo people done something?
Yeah.
And no, it was
legitimate.
It was on the broadcast. And then,
I was sitting on the couch, and obviously your tweet, I'm not going to call it a feud because it wasn't a feud with text. So your tweet exchange.
Yeah, this is me saying that if you're letting 2,000 supporters in, can other ones come in when the Crow supporters leave at 3/4 time? Hero back, or we put tarps up to make them seem like...
Yeah.
Listen to last week's podcast. We kind of addressed that.
You'd have to be under a rock not to have seen it last week.
Yeah, people are still liking the tweets as well. Like, fuck off, it was a week ago.
That's good, though.
It's not good for me. No, it's not.
Anyway, so Channel 7 had run with it on their socials throughout the week.
Yep.
Fox Footy had run with it
Yep.
throughout the week, and,
Yep.
and a bunch of other media outlets had run with it during the week.
Yep.
So you could be, right in thinking that by the weekend it was done.
Yep.
Anyway, Tex was on the camera. They were talking about him, and they've put it up.
At what stage of the game was this?
It was halfway through the second quarter, I
okay,
reckon.
so the Port were in front by a fair bit.
The
then.
game was still going, but they were talking about, Tex, how he's, been a great leader for the Crows
Yep.
and a great player and all this sort of stuff, and with the sort of character that he is. And basically they were just talking about his relationship with the media and all that sort of stuff. So I know he goes on Triple M and he has
Yes.
a bit of banter with James and all those guys on the rub. So, there's a bit of a relationship there. Anyway, they've chucked it up, and James Brayshaw has said, have a look at this Twitter exchange with a fan, and you
Yep.
being the fan.
Yep.
So James Brayshaw has labelled you a fan.
Okay. So there's a couple of things I need to discuss. You're going to give me some time here?
Go. It's all yours.
The day that I met LeBron James, how much of a wanker do I sound like saying that? I will never forget walking out of the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, and my wife looked at me. I'll never forget her sentence. He knows you exist.
Yeah.
James Brayshaw has been an idol of mine in media since I was a kid, mate. I can remember the stuff he did on SAFM with Amanda Blair. He's a brilliant broadcaster, and I think he's outstanding. The fact that he called me a fan, I take as a compliment. I actually do.
Yeah.
Good on him. I don't expect him to know anything about me, but also I am a fan. And I've always held myself in that regard when I MC. I'm just a fan with a microphone. That's the difference between me and the supporters.
Yeah.
And I can string sentences together okay. That's it. So I don't take any offence to what he said at all. There's nothing wrong with that. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah.
And it's James Brayshaw, mate. James Brayshaw saying that stuff is brilliant. Like, you listen to how he broadcasts and communicates on the rub and things like that. You and I have been talking about that show for a decade.
Yeah, that's right.
I take no offence to that.
But I reckon the blue tick next to your name sort of gives you a little bit more
Anyone
than
can
just
get
a
anyone
fan.
can get a blue tick, mate. And you know what? He's not supposed to research and see that I MC events and I work in rate. None of that shit. None of that stuff matters, mate.
And that I'm a ground announcer reporting on this and on
That
that.
doesn't matter. I'm not offended in the slightest. What I am offended in is some of the vitriol that happened afterwards. Once again, now we spoke about it last week. I don't want to drill down with all the niceties about me being bullied and all that stuff. As I said, there's no more Mr. Nice Guy. I discovered the block button over the weekend, which I'm really getting familiar with.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I took it personally that it's great that I had heaps of people saying, "Oh, James Brayshaw called Jared Walsh just a fan." Awesome. Good on him. That's great. One of them really got to me. And this is from, on Twitter, @shoes_Mr.
Oh, I got involved in this one too.
Yeah. His name is The Wookie with a trademark symbol next to it. Jared Walsh is a poor man's cozzy. Full of self-promotion and self-importance. Not actually really useful for anything. Now, normally, I would go... No, normally I take offence to it, let's be honest. I'm a pretty sensitive guy. But this is what stood out for me, especially after we spoke about this last week. On his account, it said he's a father and a teacher. And I responded to him and I said, I've done nothing wrong to you. You're a father, be a better human. So this is where I'm going to turn into no more Mr. Nice Guy, all right? Who the fuck do you think you are to come at me? A, you've never met me before. You don't have the balls to say it to my face. And I've never been in a fight before. And I probably never will. I accidentally punched my best mate once and I call that a fight. You hide behind these social media things to make yourselves feel better about your lives by bringing other people down. I'm going to give you another example.
Yeah.
Craig Abbott @Craigo1974 on Twitter. I put a picture of myself holding the prison bar Guernsey.
Yeah.
I didn't post anything about me being at the game or say anything about me being at the game until I was at the game, because that was intentional, because it's not for me to gloat that I was at the game because there were so many people who wouldn't be there.
Of course.
Great to see media still get a free ride when paying members don't. Well, I'll tell you what, Craig, I'm the fucking game day MC. So if you want the microphone, do it. A couple of people said that. And the other thing is, I am very vanilla on social media. As I said to you, I promote Port Adelaide. I support them. I'm not a media person there. I work for the club.
You work for the club. Yeah, you're an employee of the Port Adelaide Footy Club. You're not just there as Channel 7 or 5AA or anything like that.
These
so,
people all over social media, mate. I don't understand it. And I called it out on Instagram. And as I said to you last week, I don't understand how footballers and athletes deal with this every day of their lives. Some of the shit that they cop. Look at Taylor Walker. He had a bad game. People got into him about tweeting me. Like, are you serious? I had a really nice message from a player at Port Adelaide after I called it out, and he's one of the best players at the club, and he just said, mate, you should call this out. Let me read this out to you, okay?
Okay.
It just infuriates me now because I'm more and more learning that this is a reflection of other people having insecurities about their own lives and they feel it necessary to take it out on other people. Well, you know what? If you're going to be an internet troll and you think it's okay to bully other people, if you think it's okay to bring other people down, you need to have a look at yourself because if you're a parent, that's not values you should be teaching your kids because you would discipline your kids for doing that. And life is too short to be an asshole, especially on social media. The guys who, as we said, tag someone's name in and go, ha, let's have a laugh. Oh, how good am I? Piss off. You're just a loser. Like, be a better human being. This is the message I got, right? And I'm going to say it's from Travis Boak, who is a wonderful human being. That morning, he volunteered his time to do an Instagram live with me for the club, won the Showdown medal a few hours later. These people are only judging the lack of self-worth inside them. And then he said, it's not easy at times, but you realise it's actually not to do with you. We should all be trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, nailed it.
Fuck, man.
Bang on.
These people just, I don't get it. I'll never get it because they feel it's necessary to do that. Look at the guy with Eddie Betts a couple of days ago.
And the worst thing is it's all over a game.
Yes.
And what you're grown up, like, you know, these people grow up supporting a certain team or, you know, following a certain player or something like that. And just because you don't share their love and passion for that one person, that automatically gives them a reason to attack you.
And it's funny because when a couple of people come and support me for calling this guy out, he'll crack the shits and go, oh, I've got the mob onto me. Like there was a guy yesterday having a crack at Daniel Gorringe for crying on Big Brother, and he called him out. So what happens is Daniel Gorringe's fans go and have a crack at this guy who then calls like he's the victim. No, you're not, mate.
No, if you've
be a better person.
Don't go there in the first place. You've kicked this all off. Expect some backlash.
People think that I'm going to be offended that James Brayshaw said I'm a fan. Bloody oath, man. I'm a big fan. Like, I'm a fucking nuts fan. Bring it on. I'm one of the biggest fans there is. Awesome. Embrace it. But as soon as you bring other people down, now I'm just blocking people and I don't care who they are.
No, and that's fair enough. I don't think anyone would begrudge you for doing that either. So it's good that you've taken that stance and... Oh, God.
Sorry, but I just hit the microphone. I apologise for swearing because I don't.
It's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I know, but I'm better than swearing on this podcast, and sometimes I do because in my daily life on radio, I'm not allowed to swear.
So you get it out now.
Yeah, I get it out now. Yeah, but still, I don't want every week and every round that we do to talk about fuckwits on social media. But these people just need to be better human beings.
Yeah,
and if I was going to offer any advice. And you don't have to take it. If you are considering being a mean person over social media to someone else, stop and have a think about the person that you are and maybe your own insecurities and then maybe think again.
Good advice.
Thanks, Dad.
That's all right.
I'm going to have a sip of water.
How's your cough?
Oh, nah, you can hear my voice is going a bit.
It's cracking a bit, yeah. You're going to be all right for radio today?
No.
You got your joke ready for Bix?
Yeah, I got my joke ready for Bix, and I love doing dad jokes with Mark Bickley. Graham Corns had a crack at me yesterday, and
what about?
Oh, he was talking about the Crows' biggest losses, and he said, "Is that a stat?" And then I started talking. He said, "Who are you? Who are you?" And I said, "Well, Graham, it wasn't the Crows' biggest loss. The Crows' biggest loss was in '94, and you were the coach."
That's who I am, Graham.
Well, that's who I am, Graham.
Absolutely.
All right, we need to address something else, which. I'm going to handball over to you, Matty Burgess, because I find this really interesting.
Yeah, so we've obviously been going backwards and forwards with another Adelaide-based podcast, The Press Box. Your mate,
yeah,
Tuggers. So we've been going backwards and forwards. There's been a few jabs here and
You
there.
can listen to the Press Box podcast because it's one of 4 podcasts called the Press Box.
Oh, righto. Anyway, I didn't say that, but that's on you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's
no, that's fine.
It's
Yeah.
the one with the 3 boys standing there
Next to each other.
next to each other,
Arm on shoulder.
arm on shoulder, nose in full shot.
Anyway.
No, I'm leading you in.
I know you are. No, you are.
Okay.
Okay, no. So oh, God.
I'm trying to stay away from the mic, mate.
No. So anyway, you have had a little stoush with one of their members, Sam Tugwell.
Yeah, but it was done with love and
was done with
compliments,
love.
and they picked it apart like I was having a crack at him, and then they replayed the sledge, and then they replayed the real pump up we gave him.
That's right. And then, to me, that was between you and Sam Tugwell. Okay,
does.
I had absolutely nothing to do with that. And then Kempy's come on board and given me a little bit of a drive-by.
This is Jace Sean Kemp.
Jace Sean Kemp. Okay.
He's the one who works for Channel 10.
Yes. He first of all, he started off by saying that we are no male models here in this box, and how dare you have a crack at Sam's physical appearance?
Correct.
We're no male models. We don't claim to be.
No, mate, I look
Jace-
like a mix. I look like Gollum had sex with Bruce Willis and they had a kid.
Bruce is a good-looking man.
And I also look like a poor man Steve Monaghetti.
So no, we don't. We're not male models, Jace. But we're also not you. We don't spend 45 minutes in the mirror getting ready for a podcast where no one can see us.
Oh,
That's you.
okay.
Okay, Jace. Now, you also said...
Oh, Matt.
You also said that we're meant to be mates, and I should have brought you into this and stood up for you at the time.
I didn't even know you knew each other.
Jace and I have been well, I thought we were mates, but Jace said, we're mates. Why didn't you back me up in this? Kempy, we spoke about doing a sports podcast together 2.5 years ago. All right? We were just about there, ready to record. We planned it all. And then all of a sudden, Tuggers and Fletch rocked
Dustin
up.
Fletcher, yeah.
And you've left me. You've jumped out of the canoe and you've jumped in with the media boys. And you've just left me for dead.
Yeah.
A real mate doesn't do that, Kempy. And I'm flat on you for that.
Oh.
So there you go. That's my little comeback.
That's not little.
No, it's pretty big, pretty comprehensive, isn't it?
That is a real whack.
Yeah. But you know what? Things worked out for the better because I'm doing this with you now.
Yeah, and we've got a sponsor.
We do.
On it, right in front
we're
of
making
us.
money off the podcast.
That's it. We've got a profitable podcast. Okay.
So, Kempy, next time you want to have a crack, just remember, mate, there's a bit coming back your way. But we have said we'll jump on the podcast with these guys.
I mean, at least I gave some compliments to Tuggers and the other thing is, when we got the whack, Dustin Fletcher was just chilling out going, oh, didn't really talk about me much. And we haven't again.
No, we haven't again. I don't know him.
No,
I've
great
never
guy.
met him. You know
Yeah.
him, though.
Do I?
I don't know. No, but good on him for sitting back and not getting involved. Because that's what I did.
No, he's craving to get him.
He wants
you
to
can
get
hear him,
involved,
mate.
I think.
He's,
Yeah, he's itching.
zooming from
He's
home
itching.
with kids and he just wants to get involved.
But it really irked me the way Kempy wanted to be in on this, and we didn't make him part of it, and it obviously cut him deep.
Okay.
So now you're involved, Jace.
Well, whoa. Okay, let's just go back a bit. You never told me you knew one another.
Yeah,
And he was at your wedding.
He was at my wedding. Yeah. No, we've known each other for nearly 10 years.
You think that's something you probably could have brought up?
Well, no. Yeah. I have now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a really big way.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
So yeah, he was at my wedding. That's right.
Was he best on ground?
No, he was pretty reserved that day. I think there was a lot of other blokes that were best on ground. Though.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
So there it is. So that's my little right of reply to Jace.
that was comprehensive.
Hopefully we can leave it at that because he's a good man.
There is no
a good man.
chance that it's going to be left
No,
at
that's
that.
I'm going to get something.
Because he
back
said
twice
we're
as
no
hard.
oil paintings or whatever,
we're
and
not.
you've given it a 4-minute monologue
Yeah,
and smashed him.
yeah.
Is that true about the podcast, though? He gets ready.
He's pretty comfortable in his own skin, Kempy.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not unhappy with his looks. I feel
Okay.
but that's fine. That's all right.
Well, I mean, we can't, mate.
I'm comfortable in my skin, but
I'm bald
I know where
and
I'm
I've
at.
got a grey beard
Yeah.
and a wind problem. But hey, we can admit that.
that's right. Exactly right. Anyway,
Jeez, that's
so
a comprehensive whack.
That's my little return there.
Hey, I don't mind that. You know what I love about this? And I love about the fact that we do this podcast things just fall into our lap.
Yes.
And we just go, let's talk about it. When we first had the idea for Best Team Men, we would talk about sport. We're like, yeah, let's do a different take on this sporting topic. We don't talk sport anymore.
We haven't done that at all.
No.
It's sport. There's sport in the background of everything we talk about,
Yeah.
but we don't specifically talk about the sport itself.
Exactly. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like us to talk about, just send it in. I mean, we probably won't, but there's a fair chance that we'll read your comments because we don't have many listeners or followers.
That we know of.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Where are we ballpark?
Listeners?
Yeah.
Oh,
Between 0 and 2, you reckon?
Jamie Mason.
Yeah.
And Con.
Manson.
Manson. What
Yeah.
did I say? Mason.
Mason Cox. Dean Cox.
Dean Cox.
Brad Dick.
Con. He's a listener.
Glenn Aikman.
Glenn Aikman from Yatla.
The dodgy guy who used to run all the pubs.
My mate Hector.
Is he the cleaner?
Hector the cleaner.
Hector
Yep.
the cleaner.
Hector the cleaner. And that is a legit listener.
Steve the pirate. He's the physio.
James the lawyer.
James the lawyer, which might come in handy very soon.
Absolutely. Yep.
I asked Andy from Ozcast if he listens. Doesn't.
He listens to Garvey.
Don't even talk about Garvey.
If you go to Andy's Facebook profile.
Oh my God, it's almost like he's in a
Garvey.
relationship with Garvey. Hey, congratulations, Andy and Garvey, on having your kid, mate. Well done.
Andy and Garvey have checked in too.
Someone did listen to our commentary.
Yes.
And this was a couple of weeks ago, 2 rounds ago, we commentated the most one-sided last quarter of a football game in history where Collingwood kicked 47 goals and Port Adelaide kicked 1 with 2 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And it was Jamie who gave good feedback, and he said we sounded very Eddie Maguire, and that
Okay.
was because we were commentating 2 teams we both like.
That's fair. Yeah,
we
I
ne-
get that.
yeah, and I love that feedback. It's
Yep.
very good to know. So we need to pick the next game that we do,
Yep.
and I reckon we'll do that next week.
Yep.
Let's do a neutral game.
Yeah, done. We can do that for sure.
And that will be, I enjoyed that though. That was fun.
It was fun. Absolutely.
So is this game that I want to play with you.
This is a new one.
Yeah, and let's lift the podcast curtain here. We did this last week when I was freezing by that time,
Yeah.
and you were so lovely because I introduced this game. We played it for about 5 minutes. At the end, you said, "I heard none of that."
Hear
I'm like,
any of it, yeah.
what about that great joke I said? And you said, I just laughed the whole time on purpose.
Yeah, I did. I couldn't hear it. For some reason, my headphones at home started to malfunction and
Yeah.
I was just getting a heap of static through and I actually couldn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, so it's a double banger. So the first game, we don't have to do it all now, but it's good to get a start because this is where we want to bring in people who do listen to the podcast. It is rhyming slang. So
I'm still going to struggle with this, I feel. But anyway.
really,
Yeah, I don't know why. I just struggle.
this is how it works: sporting rhyming slang. So, for example, former Test cricketer. Did he play Test cricket? Michael Beer. You can go. Let's go to the pub and have a couple of Michael Beers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's rhyming slang, but it's very specific.
Yep.
When people say I had a spew on the weekend because I had too many Michael Beers, they can say I had a Chris Mew. So we're going to try and bring in athletes' names and see how we go. But it's almost like a game of tennis where you go back and forth.
It is. Absolutely. So I'm going to get you to start while I look for one.
Yeah, because I thought you were texting while
I'm not.
boring again. The last 3 episodes, you've just gone, I'm just going to check out of here for a second. Okay. So, do you want me to start with a really good one or a really bad one?
Start with a good one.
Okay. Geez, I tell you what, mate. Did I embarrass you because your cheeks are a little bit kind of rosy?
Not bad. Thanks. Not bad.
Yeah, what do you got?
No, you got a good one and a bad one.
And a bad one?
You said, okay.
Oh, you want a good and a bad one?
Yeah, I want a good and a bad one.
Okay, I'll tell you what, mate. No, but the bad one's really obvious. Are you fine with that?
Yeah, it's meant to be.
Okay, I'll tell you what, mate. Me and my wife are thinking about having another child. I've just got to make sure that my Mason Cox and Willie Rioli's all in working order. Come on, give me something. Just give me something.
Oh, I bought a new pair of shoes. Hang on.
I almost vomited there.
Oh,
Yeah.
How's your Darren Goff?
There you go.
That was off the cuff. Grabbed a new pair of shoes for my Peter Street.
Yeah.
Feet.
Oh, feet, Peter Street.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, is it my turn?
It's your turn. I've done 2 now.
You've done 2, so I've got to come back with one. All right. God, I'm still thinking. I'm going to cough again. Just make some noise. Just do some whole music.
Yeah. Woo. Yes. Coughing. Darren Goff.
Oh. I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah, that's my game. All right, let's do the other game.
Okay, let's do the other one.
I'm going to come prepared. Okay, this is our challenge between now and next round. We'll come prepared for that game.
Okay, beautiful.
This one I thought of, you know how they do the Instagram versus reality thing all the time?
Yep.
Well, I was watching the Melbourne game on the weekend and I saw Max Gawn. Max Gawn is in ripping nick.
Yep.
He looks absolutely amazing. I thought, I wish I had a body like Max Gawn.
Yep.
But ultimately, as I said earlier, I look like a malnourished Steve Monaghetti. So it is athletes you wish you looked like versus athlete you do look like.
Yeah, I like it.
Who do you wish you looked like? Because there's many.
Past or present?
As in dead?
No, as in
doesn't matter.
Still playing or
yeah, it doesn't matter.
retired?
It doesn't matter.
Look, from a rig point of view, it'd be hard to go past, say, a Cooter,
Yes.
someone like that.
Yep. But who do you look like?
Stewie Jew.
As in now.
2008 Grand Final, Stewie Jew.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a bit of Dean Rioli.
Mate, I was driving home from the game on Saturday night and I had a couple of people in my car.
Right.
We made a gag about Stewie Jew and he got really defensive. He's like, it doesn't matter if he was a little bit big. He scored lots of goals for Hawthorn and they won the premiership. It was like he had a full argument about
Really?
Stewie Jew.
He did play a pivotal role in
Amazing.
2008. Yeah.
Dual premiership player. Okay, so you think you look like Stewie Jew. So you think you looked obese and I think I look too skinny. Oh, he's not obese. I should say that's not very nice. He's not obese.
Just slightly rotund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice though? There were a couple of players on the weekend that did look like they had a pretty big
hadn't done
coronavirus.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't look like they'd come out of a pre-season.
Yeah,
that's
but
for
is
sure.
that the Guernsey you reckon, which is too tight?
It could be. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they are tight these days because they try and avoid,
Grabbing on and stuff.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. So it's almost a skins vest, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, can you remind everyone of our social media before we wrap this up again?
At Best Team Men on Twitter and Facebook.com/Best Team
What's
Men.
our to-do list? So we got to get this rhyming slang for next
Rhyming
round.
slang down. We've
Yep.
got to organise a session with the Port Pirates
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And what else do we have to do? Just sit back and wait for our cop from the press box.
Oh, yeah. And I'm safe in this.
I reckon you are. I'm in a bit of strife.
Yeah. In the meantime, did you want to go on the Ozcast Network couch and have a Shane Tuck?
See you, mate.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.